Welcome back to Iwa Spa in the Blue Mountain Village. We're here today to do a little yoga. Our theme today is going to be find your balance. When we talk about balance, we're not necessarily talking about all those balance poses where we're wavering around, but finding that balance within our body, our mind, our breath. So we're going to start out today just having a nice comfy seat. Again, trying to connect down in those sit bones with little nods at the bottom. Grounding ourselves and just kind of tuning into how we're feeling. So noticing our energy, maybe our body a little bit, turning that attention inward a little bit more to our breath, closing our eyes and just connecting with ourselves. Having to change that breath at all in the beginning, just observing that natural rhythm of our inhales and exhales, how deep our breath is, where our body moves. Thinking about kind of softening for the first little bit, letting our shoulders fall heavy, drawing our belly in, letting those muscles in our face relax. And as we deepen our connection, let's start to lengthen our breath. So drawing our inhales and exhales out long and wide. Maybe as we do, we can kind of start to reach the crown of our head up. We can draw that belly button in a little bit more. Our shoulders fall down and wide. Letting our chin drop just slightly so we keep that length in the back of our neck. And just filling our body with our breath. Allowing it to weave in between our ribs. Keeping our inhales and exhales through our nose. And noticing what happens after a few breath cycles. Can we feel a little bit of tension or tightness in our bodies? Maybe we're sore from getting outside in our gardens. And see if you can use your breath here. Send it to those spaces to open and release a little bit more. As our focus deepens, our connection with our breath, our body starts to get a little bit stronger, we can let go of our plans for this afternoon, start to clear our mind, our to-do list for the rest of our week, and just focus on yourself. Set the intention to pay attention to your breath, your body for the next 30 minutes or so, giving ourselves a chance to move, to connect, and to just breathe. After a few moments of connecting with our breath, we have a pretty good idea of that initial kind of snapshot of how we're feeling. We'll start to move a little bit, opening our eyes or keeping them closed. We'll just start to kind of rock through our hips and moving back and forth. If you want to do some circles in one direction and the other. Just warming ourselves up a little bit, rolling those shoulders a few times. Switching directions. Sitting up nice and tall, draw your belly button in, lift your chest, take a big inhale, and on our exhale, we'll just walk our hands over to one side. Nice big breath as we fill our bodies, exhaling, as maybe we look over our shoulder, get a little stretch in through our neck. Our next breath comes all the way through center and to the other side. Exhaling as we come back to center. Big inhale and exhale, let your chin fall into your chest. Let's just lengthen through the back of our neck. Take a big inhale, and on our exhale, let's just do a nice little circle. Maybe a few in one direction, and rolling the other way. Again, just tuning in and noticing what's happening. Back up to center, big inhale, look all the way up. Exhale, we'll come back. Walking our hands in front of us, coming to tabletop. Again, spread those fingers nice and wide, press into our fingertips. Let's think about that alignment for a moment. Shoulders are over our wrists, hips are over our knees. We'll just do some cat-cows. Again, just tuning into our body. Inhaling as we tilt our pelvis forward, let our belly drop. Let's get wide through our collarbone, look all the way up. Exhaling as we round, draw that belly button in, press your shoulders up. As always, if it feels good to take some different movements, swagging our hips, rolling our shoulders, just thinking about kind of finding those juicy spots. That first little twinge here, send a breath out. And everybody is different, so you could be feeling completely different than I am today, which is why it's nice to kind of take that intuitive flow at the beginning of every practice. Come back to table on our inhale, nice and long. And we're going to press back on our exhale to child's pose, giving ourselves a little wiggle. Walk those hands out, bring our forehead down. Knees can be wide, toes together if that feels better. Move those shoulders away from one another and fill that space with your breath. So thinking about getting nice and wide through our back body. Maybe it feels nice to kind of roll one shoulder and then the other. Reaching our hips back toward our heels, the crown of our head comes toward the front of our mat. So we're thinking long and wide here. And just settle in for a few breaths. You can let your forearms fall if you like, keeping it a little more passive. Reaching our shoulders toward the outside of our mat. Our next exhale, walk our hands over to one side. Let's get into that side body. Big breath. My hands are over to the left, so I'm going to send my breath into that right side body, right from my hip all the way up in through my ribcage. Shoulders are still down and wide. Our next exhale, we'll walk all the way through center to that opposite side again. Big breaths into that left side if you're on the right.
Thinking about separating through our rib cage, getting nice and long through our underarm, and don't stop. Send that breath all the way up to the tip of your fingers. Exhaling as you come back to center. Let's take one more breath here. See if we can get a little bit lower. Maybe we feel a little bit wider. Inhaling as we come back up, and we're going to find that tabletop. So thinking about balance, you want to draw an imaginary line down the center of your mat, just like the center of your body, your midline. So we're going to start to draw everything into that, drawing our core in. We're going to move here. On an inhale, we'll send our left leg back. Toes are pointed down, and this is our first balance movement. Thinking about those hips. So nice and strong here. We're not opening up to the side or letting it fall down. We're trying to keep our hips nice and even. Opposite arm can come out as well. Press into those fingers. Reaching. Someone's grabbing on to your wrist, your ankle. Stretching you out. One more breath. Exhaling as we come back. We'll do a little wag. Whatever feels nice here. Let those hips fall forward. And we'll set up again. Checking in. Let all that breath out. We're going to draw that foot up, toes are down again. Lock it in. You can see what happens when we let it sway there. We're going to bring our belly in. Opposite arm comes out. Exhale, we'll release. Quick movement, thinking about how our body is changing. And we're gonna press back into down dog. So nice long inhale, curl those toes. Exhale, back to down dog. And let's walk our dog. Noticing here, kind of what happens when we let our hips roll over to one side and the other, keeping that balance from one side to the other, finding that center line. Shoulders move away from our ears. Let's make sure we're spiraling those arms out, pressing our chest toward our thighs, and not worrying about our heels touching yet or ever. Take a nice big inhale. And we're going to walk our feet to our hands, coming into that forward fold, grabbing opposite elbows, maybe swaying from side to side. Again, checking in here, noticing one leg to the other. Have a good identifier for one side being tighter. Exhaling, release those hands. We're slowly going to roll ourselves all the way up. Draw that belly button in. Our head's the last to come up. And standing up nice and tall at the front of your mat. Finding Tadasana or mountain pose. Thinking about our bodies. Close your eyes. Letting our chin fall just slightly and starting to stack our joints. So knees are over our ankles. Our hips are over our knees. Our shoulders are over our hips. Standing up nice and tall. Draw your belly in, engage through your kneecaps. Press into those feet. On an inhale, we'll take our arms all the way up. We're going to hold here. Exhale, let those shoulders fall. Press our thumbs behind us. Breathing here.
next exhale, we fold forward all the way down. Get rid of all your breath. Inhale, back up to standing. Spread your knees. Exhale, hands at heart center. One more time, inhale up. We're gonna hold here. Big breath as we fill our bodies. And exhale, fold forward. This time on our inhale, we'll come halfway, bringing our hands to our shins. If we like, send that tailbone back, get wide through your chest. Exhale, fold forward. Slight bend in our knees, press into our feet. Inhale, we come all the way up. We're gonna take our hands together, interlace our fingers, press our palms away, get a nice little stretch. Shoulders are down. Taking an inhale here, and on an exhale, we're gonna dip to one side. This is the left for me. Still keeping that shoulder away from our ears. Lift up through your spine. So feeling that balance, noticing the weight distribution from our feet, keeping it nice and even. Inhale, we come to center. Exhale to the other side. And your hands can be apart if that's more comfy. You can have them with your pointer fingers up. I just like to get a nice little stretch here in my wrist, tucking that tailbone in, belly buttons right in, protecting that lower back. Inhale up, and exhale, fold. Halfway on our inhale. Exhale, step back with your left foot, drop that knee. Low lunge, taking our arms all the way up if we like, drawing our belly in. Again, thinking about kind of hugging that midline. Noticing what's happening with our feet, keeping nice and strong. Part of our balance, that connection with our mat, our body, is that kind of grounding through our feet. We always say root to rise in our yoga practice, so we have that stable base for our poses. One more breath here. Exhale, frame your feet. We'll curl those toes under, press back to plank. Again, here's that time we can play a little bit with our bodies for that balance. Noticing one side to the other. One more breath. Exhale, we'll press back to down dog. Inhale, let's step that left foot forward, low lunge. Belly is in, shoulders are down. Notice what it takes to kind of keep that center line. Even in a pose where we're supported, we're thinking about that balance. How does this side feel compared to the other side? Our hip flexors get a nice stretch here. We might be noticing a little bit through our glutes, maybe through our quad. Exhaling as we frame our foot, curl our toes, step back to plank. Let's take a breath here. We come forward, press back. Again, notice kind of those lines through our body when we're stable. And exhale, back to down dog. Take a breath. Inhale, we're gonna send that left foot back. And we'll step it forward, finding high lunge. So we're gonna keep that heel off of our mat. Again, keep that stability, press into those feet, lock your belly in. Take those arms up. Not letting that belly kind of hang out. Give everything a nice little squeeze in. Exhale, take your arms out to the side. Inhale, reach them even farther, so nice big gap between our shoulder blades. And on an exhale, we're gonna twist toward that front leg. So thinking about drawing that belly in, pressing into our feet, long through our spine, reach those fingers away. Our next exhale, that front hand comes down to the mat. We can lunge a little bit deeper. We're gonna open up a little bit more here. You can always drop that back knee. Exhaling as we frame our foot. Inhale, let's reach that chest forward, press back through that heel. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, forward fold. Pedal our knees a little bit. Inhale, we'll come up halfway. Exhale, frame your foot, step back with your left foot. So we're coming into that high lunge on the other side. Again, connect with your feet, find that nice strength, that root of the pose, and then we'll bring ourselves up. Shoulders are down, belly is in. We're thinking about kind of hips are forward. Let's draw that center line. And just breathe here. Our bodies are always in motion. The perfect balance is not that stillness. It's that connection. Breathe through it. Exhaling as our arms come out. Inhale even farther. And exhale as we twist toward that leg. One side is going to be different from the other. Pull that hip back, reach up. Exhale, we drop that front hand. We're going to lunge a little bit more, open ourselves up. Again, option to drop that knee. Next exhale, we'll frame our foot, step back to plank. You can go through a little flow if you wanted to come in through your chaturanga a little bit more into that up dog, or just press back to down dog. Walking that dog. Our hips wag. Inhale, we're gonna step that left foot forward. Warrior one, so we're gonna drop that heel, a little variation, coming all the way up. We're gonna use this, our transition, to come into warrior three. Exhale, we send our hands behind us, reach those fingers back. Inhale, step up. Doesn't have to be very far. Bring your hands to heart centers, usually a lot easier. Locking it in, keeping our hips, loin, flex, point, whatever works for you. Just nice, strong leg. We can take our hands out front if we like. Always a micro bend here. And exhale, we're just gonna drop our torso coming into standing split. So lift that leg a little bit higher. Trying to keep those hips nice and even. So balancing a little bit. Imagining we could put that nice serving tray here. Our nose reaches toward our knee. One more breath. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank. Again, you can go through your flow. You can hold your plank here for a breath. We're gonna meet in down dog. Checking in, noticing a little difference from side to side. And on
an inhale, we'll move. We're gonna swing that right leg back, step it forward, drop our heel, warrior one. Using it as that transition, exhale, send our hands behind us. Inhale, step up, nice and strong. Hands come to heart center. Noticing one side to the other. And for me, I want to open up here to make it easier. Keep those hips pointed down, nice and strong. And exhale, let's drop that chest. Your leg does not have to go to the sky. Use your breath. Big inhale. Big exhale. Our next exhale, we'll drop that leg back down. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. All the way up to standing on that inhale. Exhale, hands come to heart center, pausing here. Breathe. Inhale, arms come up. This time on our exhale, we're gonna sit back into chair. Can walk our feet a little bit closer together. Knees, making sure they're kind of on that same starting line. This is intense for your shoulders. You can bring it back down here. Hands can come to heart center, just like we're going to sit down. So we're not sticking it out, we're dropping that tailbone. Staying here, finding that balance, or we can also take it a little bit further. Come as high up onto your toes as you can. Again, that movement, that shaking, breathe into it. Exhale, lower those heels down. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Halfway. Exhale, step back with your right foot. We're gonna walk ourselves out into that wide leg forward fold. Give ourselves a little wag here. Stretch those inner thighs. Lifting our hips, pouring that torso out. One more breath here. Inhale, halfway. Nice and long through our spine. Exhale, walking our hands back to that front foot. We'll step back to plank. And we're gonna go to side plank here. So keeping our left hand on, we're gonna roll over onto those feet. They can be stacked. They can be one in front of the other. And we're gonna pull up here. So nice and long. Option, stick that bottom foot out. Bring that knee down. Same thing, lift those hips. Press into your fingertips. 2 more breaths. Exhaling as we come back to plank. Big inhale here. And exhale, go through a flow or press back to down dog. Opposite side, inhale, we come forward. We keep that right arm on again, lifting ourselves up, big through our hips. Draw that belly in, press into your fingers. Think about your body. If you push forward a little bit, you're going to want to fall that way. Same with if you open up too much. One more breath. Exhale, we'll come back to plank. Big breath. Exhale, drop to your knees. Press back to child's pose. Breathing here, giving ourselves a little wiggle, allowing our shoulders a chance to kind of release from those side planks. One more breath before we move. On our inhale, we'll come back up to tabletop. Curling our toes, press back to down dog. Again, settling in here, always checking in our dog, pressing it there. Inhale, send your left leg back. We're gonna bend our knees, stack our hips, open up out to the side here, holding up that wall. And again, noticing when we reach our hips, our foot a little bit farther, we come forward. We keep that balance through our hands. One more breath. Straighten our leg, level our hips. Step this foot forward, runner's lunge back here, lift our chest. We're just gonna step forward, exhale, forward fold. All the way up to standing. On our inhale, we reach up. Hands come to heart center. And we're setting up for our traditional balance pose. So we're gonna start with tree. Again, putting all our weight into, let's start with our left foot. Nice micro bend in that knee, not locking it out. Lift up our chest, hands at heart center, over to the side if that helps you. Options, just tucking our foot in, bringing it to our calf. We're picking it up, placing it on the inside of our thigh as we press that leg back in. Hands come to our heart center. Shoulders are down, the crown of our head reaches up, press into those feet. Options to bring our hands all the way up, however we like. Finding that kind of focus, that drishti, just kind of our focus gaze. So not picking something that's moving, not staring at ourselves in the mirror if we have it, kind of picking that spot off on the horizon. If we're feeling very balanced today, we can change that gaze. Maybe we take it up to the ceiling. Maybe we close our eyes for 3 seconds. Just playing a little bit here. Press that foot and draw your belly. One more breath. From here, we're gonna move, build a little bit of that last heat before we finish. We're gonna take those hands up to the sky. If they're not there, we're gonna release our foot, bringing our knee in front. Big inhale, exhale, we press back. We can do this with our hands at heart center too, warrior 3. Inhale, right from our core, all the way up. Exhale, we press back. One more time. And inhale up. Exhale, release our hands, release our foot. Always a good idea to give that supporting leg a little shake out. Our hips a little shimmy, standing up nice and tall. We'll move to the other side, going through. Inhale, our flow. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway. We're gonna plant our hands, step back to plank. Again, here you can hold your plank. We can come in to our chaturanga and up dog, or we can press right back to our down dog. Finding that connection. And we're gonna send that right leg back, bend our knees, stack our hips. Opening ourselves up here again, reaching behind us with that foot, noticing how that moves our body. Straighten our leg, level our hips. Step that foot forward, a breath here. Big reach through that chest, press back, nice hip flexor stretch. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, forward fold. All the way up on our inhale. exhale, hands at heart center. We're setting up for the other side, pressing those feet, spread those toes out, thinking about those 3 points, one behind our big toe, our pinky toe, and one on our heel. Again, you can just tuck your foot in, pick it up, or we can come all the way up, sitting up nice, tall, stand here. Arms can go right up, they can come down, maybe it's here. Finding that gaze. And again, breathe through that motion. Every day is different. Working on our balance. Something we don't do every day. Taking our hands up to the sky for this first move. Again, we're going to release that foot, but keep that knee up. Inhale here. Exhale, we start to float. We press it back. Again, hands can be here for everything. Inhale that knee up, right in through our belly. Exhale, press it out. One more time. Give ourselves a little shake out at the top of our mat. We're going to slow it down. Inhale, take our arms all the way up. Exhale, fold forward, reach that chest. Halfway. Exhale, release. We're going to walk our feet mat width apart. We're going to come into our squat to come down on to our bums. Let's lift our chest for a breath. And then exhale, we come back down. Again, you can stack some blocks one on top of the other if you like. Lifting our chest, sinking those hips. Two more breaths. Our next exhale, we'll bring our hands behind us. Taking our feet out in front, let's take our legs long, pull our toes in, coming into that forward fold. Moving our fleshy parts, connecting down into our space. Inhale, we take our arms up. We're gonna reach, just like we're standing, and exhale, fold forward. So thinking about that chest coming down and reaching toward our feet, not rounding here. Nice and long, tilting our hips forward. Each breath, we get a little bit longer, a little bit deeper. Even if we're here, we've got that length through our spine. Exhaling as we roll up, the soles of our feet come together, grabbing onto our toes, our ankles, press those knees out, lift our chest, and if we'd like to fold forward, we can reach that belly button toward our heels, our toes. Exhaling as we roll up. We'll close our legs like a book. Come down on to your backs. Bring your knees into your chest for a hug. Give ourselves a little wiggle from side to side. We draw some circles elbows on the ceiling with your knees. Keeping our knees drawn in, we're going to exhale, bring our arms out to a T. Shoulders are nice and wide. The crown of our head is reaching toward the top of our mat. Big inhale, and on an exhale, let both of your legs fall over to one side. So nice big twist to finish. We can always take that opposite arm that's on the same side of our knees and put it on top to help us kind of come down a little bit farther. Never pushing or pulling our body into any space that it doesn't want to go. Breathe here, filling our bellies, our rib cage, our chest. Trying to keep that opposite shoulder connected. Closing our eyes. Inhaling as we bring our knees to center. We can give them a little wiggle. We can adjust our bodies. And exhaling as they fall to the other side. Noticing kind of one side to the other again, checking in with our bodies, maybe coming back to those spaces that we had a little bit of tightness or we noticed a little bit of uncomfortable feelings in at the beginning of our practice, and just kind of sending our breath again to those places. Wide across our chest here, not only are we getting the benefits of this twist and kind of the opening through our hips, but that nice breath across our chest. Filling our bodies, using our breath to give those internal organs a nice massage. We can turn our head away from our knees if we like to take it even farther. One more breath here. And inhaling as we come back to center. Knees can come in. We can take them wide, give them a little wiggle. We can find happy baby if we like, grabbing the outsides of our feet or even just the backs of our thighs. Give our tailbone a little press down toward the bottom of our mat. Our shoulders connect. When you're ready, exhaling as you release into that final pose, letting our legs come long, give our hips a little wiggle, pick up our shoulders, let our arms fall out wide, thinking about that length in our spine, and just breathing here. Spend the next few minutes kind of letting that breath move through your body. Just taking up space, inhaling as we get wide and long, exhaling as we just let that breath release, get out of its way. Thinking about sinking deeper and deeper into the earth, that ground, that root that we have, connecting with our mats. As we release with each breath, allow your muscles to relax, your joints to soften. Just let everything go.
yourself. Just kind of hang out in this space for as many minutes as you like. Letting your body float, your breath release. We will leave you here in this delicious position for as long as you like. Thank you for joining us. Namaste.